Welcome to Chapter 4, Part 15, where you're going to learn how to wrap text around a graphic. And we visited this a little in Chapter 3, but we're going to look at it more in depth during this lesson. So the first thing I need you to do is make sure that you have your last name, comma, first name, flowers file open. Once you have that open, you're going to make sure that your selection tool is active. And then we are going to click the graphic because you should be on your image layer, and we're working with this blue color background with windmills on it. So we're going to click on our graphic, and then we're going to click the wraparound options. And if you don't see those over here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Window. We're going to select the text wrap panel. Once again, you can move it over and you can readjust or close out any of these other panels if you need to. So we're going to go ahead and open the text wrap panel, and we're going to verify that we click on the wraparound bounding box button. So remember, if we hover over our options, it'll show us what it's called. But the one we're looking for is the second at the top, called the wraparound bounding box. And now you'll notice that the text is rearranged around this bounding box. What we're going to do now is verify that the Make All Settings the Same button is active, and right now ours is not because it looks like a broken chain. So we're going to click on it and make it now look like a chain link. We are going to type 0.125 in our box and then hit enter, and it's going to change how far away from that bounding box that we're going to have that text wrap around, and it also changes it for all sides because we have that link. Then we're going to deselect everything by clicking on our pasteboard and then press Ctrl and D on our keyboard. And what that does is that is going to open up and navigate our place function. We're going to navigate to that Chapter 4, so remember this PC, Handout Drive, Business Handouts, Schonifer, Computer Graphics 2, and Chapter 4. Once you're there, you're going to find the one called Windmill Silhouette. So you may have to scroll down to the bottom and select the one called Windmill Silhouette and hit open. And once again, your cursor is going to look like this because we didn't have a frame that we are inserting it into. Once we have it open, we're going to click the loaded graphics icon onto the word F of the flowers like we did before. And now it's going to be inserted into our picture. And because this is a Photoshop document, it was actually saved with a path, clipping path named Path 1 in Photoshop. So if we go to our our text wrap function, we can click on the Wraparound and Object Shape button on the text wrap panel. So remember coming down here, hovering over, and we're going to click Wrap Around the Object Shape, which is our third option. And now what we need to do is look at our wrap options so that our program knows what it should be wrapping to. And like I said, we already had that clipping path created. So if we come down to our contour options, not our wrap options, we can select our Photoshop path. And then we already have that path name that is called Path 1. So Path 1 is automatically listed. If there were multiple paths, we'd have to click through and select it. Now we're going to type 0.14 in the top offset text box and press enter. So here's our offset text box. We're going to type 14 and then hit enter. And because it's just a path and we don't have it on all sides of an object, we don't need to worry about linking them because there's only one option. And so now you'll see that the text is wrapped around our graphic shape, which is really quite neat. So it's wrapping around all the little contours of our windmill silhouette. So now we're going to deselect everything, and then using our selection tool, we're going to click on the graphic that we just inserted. And then we're going to verify that the frame not the graphic within the frame is selected. So making sure that we have that orange outline around as a box and not the path around the silhouette. So with that selected, we're going to come up to our control panel, and in our X location, we are going to change this to negative 1.25 and hit enter. And then we're going to put in a 3.8 in our Y and hit enter. And it's going to move it down to the bottom of the screen. And you'll notice that our wrap options are no longer in play. So we're going to go back to our wrap text options, and we're going to click the wrap to list arrow, and we're going to select the right side. And what you should see now is the text is wrapping around the silhouette and that path again that we had selected earlier. If you don't see that, just make sure that under text wrap you have the wraparound object shape selected, and then you have that 0.14 in all of those boxes. And then if you have words that are underneath your windmill or placed oddly, it's just because of the way the wrap works. And what we can do is we can click the selection tool and click the graphic and just drag it slightly over if we needed to, so that there was no text over here. So if you have text, go ahead and just take your selection tool and just click and drag it slightly so that that doesn't happen. Please go ahead and save your work. And this time, you will turn in your last name, comma, first name, flowers project to Google Classroom.